Okay, before we put eyeshadow on my eyelids today, we are going to put eyeshadow on the other parts of my face. And the reason for this is because I recently extended my collection of ColourPop Super Shock shadows. And when I got the package, I thought to myself, am I being punked? Because tell me that these shades do not look almost identical. But when you flip the box, they're different. So yes, I was sent the correct shades. So I am going to swatch these on my face today so that I can get a sense of what they look like and maybe how I would use them. I will also swatch the other new shades that I picked up in my existing ColourPop shades. Just why not go ahead and swatch my entire ColourPop collection? But as part of the comparison with these shades, I am going to also swatch some of the eyeshadows that are a part of more of my luxury collection. So I've got Patrick Ta here, Victoria Beckham. I've got a shade that I want to swatch that's out of a Pat McGrath quad. I've got a new Moondust shadow. This is Diamond Dog. Haven't even opened this yet. And then why not throw in Natasha Denona's version of which one of these is not like the other? So I hope this sounds good to you. If it does, let's start throwing some swatches all over my face. All right, guys, let's start off by opening up these 4 new shades that I picked up in the ColourPop Super Shock line that look nearly identical to me. Now look, to be fair, these look similar when you look at them on the website, okay? Excuse me, granola bar for breakfast. As I was saying, to be fair, these look very similar when you look at them on the ColourPop website, but I did not expect them to look this similar. Is this a case of me just not being able to choose which one is best? Even though I knew they all look the same, I don't know. I look, they were 50% off and they all looked beautiful. So let's start swatching these. Let's start off with Deep Dive. This does kind of look deeper to me than some of the others. And as I'm sort of swirling in here, it does look like it has some pink and some gold in there. So we are going to put this one right here. And, you know, it's moments like these that I am glad that my forehead is so big. You know, I never knew that it would come in handy, but it's definitely going to come in handy today. So again, that is Deep Dive. This next one is called Abbott Kenny. There's Abbott Kenny there. And glasses are kind of in the way, but I need them for right now. Okay, so that's Abbott Kenny. Maybe this one's a little bit pinkier. And then we've got DGAF. This one looks like it has a lot more gold in it in the pan. And these all feel the way you would expect a Super Shock shadow to feel. Very buttery, sort of wet. So again, this is DGAF. And yeah, that does have more gold in it than the others. But it's hard to tell because of the shift, guys. Like, when they shift, do they end up looking like each other? God, I don't know. Okay. This one's called A Little Quirky. This one looks the lightest out of the bunch, to be fair. Oh God, this one really feels wet. This one reminds me the most of Ritz in terms of the way it feels. I mean, this one feels wetter than the others. This one looks much, much lighter in swatch, even though I don't think it looks that much lighter in the pan. While we have that up, let's go ahead and swatch Ritz next to that. Here's what my Ritz looks like now. Oh God, so pretty. I think that A Little Quirky has a little bit more peach to it, or a little bit more gold. Okay, so far, guys, I would say that yes, these do look different. This one has a lot more brown to it. I mean, when it shifts, it does go goldy pink, but none of the others, when they shift, have this much brown. And I would say that that is the case of this one in terms of the amount of pink and this one in the amount of sort of orange or gold. But, you know, on the eyes, they may not look that different. Other new Super Shock shadows that I got, you guys, I could not resist. This one is called Rooftop Cocktails. Wow. Okay. That is really cool. I don't know if I have anything quite like that. I'm kind of inclined to swatch up against that. Bay, which is not one of my newer ones. This is one that I had previously purchased. This one feels much drier than anything I have swatched today. So this is Bay. So this has purple and blue. This one is really cool too. Also in the pink family, I've got Party of Five. I'm gonna go ahead and do it here. Yeah, Party of Five is just really, really pinky. And this is Frog. I'm gonna do this one here. That barely shows up at all. So definitely a topper. I'm gonna put it on top of Bay. So we can just kind of see. I do have two other new ones. This one is called Sequin. This is very bronzy. And I think this one looks pretty different too. It's got a lot more copper in it. I don't know if that shade's going to work for me, guys. So far, I love all of these shades, but I am not sure that this is going to be very flattering on me. Good thing ColourPop is cheap, and then when it's 50% off, you got no worries. Okay, and then finally, I have Flower Child. It might be closest to a little quirky and Ritz. This one looks like it has a lot more yellow. This is Flower Child. I mean, again, it's the whole thing of if you're just looking straight on, they look different. But the minute you start to move and they shift, they look more and more sort of similar. Now I'm inclined to sort of spread some things out a bit. Maybe in the end, it's going to come down to once they're brushed out a bit, what has base pigment. Those are all of the Super Shock shadows. Now we are going to get into some of the luxury shadows. So of course, first up, I've got a swatch Mink, which really actually has a lot more green in it, I think. So sort of a green brown as opposed to like a ruddy brown. And at this point, I think I'm going to take my glasses off so we can really see what we're doing. Here we have Mink. And yes, Mink is different than anything that I bought. I'm happy about this. Up against that, I want to let's try Diamond Dog. Okay, so there is Diamond Dog. This looks much lighter. So yeah, not nearly as intense. I had to build it up a lot more. It's a lot drier than the Victoria Beckham. Let's go ahead and swatch this Pat McGrath shade. To me, this looks a lot like Mink in the pan. Victoria Beckham, Urban Decay, and now this shade from Pat McGrath, which feels totally buttery and delicious. I think I'm making my swatches too big. I would say the Pat McGrath is more like this, but it's not nearly as shimmery. No, let me get it closer. Wow, this is complicated. Okay, if I put it right beside, I think now I can see in the light the similarity between those two. I do have to say, in terms of the feel, I prefer the Victoria Beckham. It's hard to beat the feel of those potted shadows. Let's throw on some e.l.f. Fine as Fleck. I have a feeling it's going to be closer to Diamond Dog. So I'm going to do Fine as Fleck right here. Yes, my first impression would be that that is the case. Let's take a look at Patrick Ta. I mean, we got to. I have a feeling that this one also is going to be a lot more brown than. Damn this packaging. Damn this packaging to hell. What? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to talk, I'm trying to focus, and it doesn't open the way packages are supposed to open. Patrick, come on. This is this, she's still at the club? She's at the club, or is that the blush? She goes to the gym? No, I don't. You know what? She gets around. She goes to the club. She's still at the club. She goes to the gym. She gets around. Here are those two. This obviously much deeper. And God, I'm trying to figure out where to put these bad boys. I mean, okay, I am going to put the deeper one up here because, again, I just want to look at the brown tone and see, is it close? And no, guys, I don't think it is. Got the more sort of topper shade here. But before I do that, I want to put this one over here. So I think that this one has a lot more brown in it, and these have a lot more green. And it's not nearly as shimmery, but let's put this sort of topper on it. If I can see what I am doing. And yes, that kind of transforms it into more of sort of this family, although not exactly, but a little bit. This looks so good. Why don't I ever go out like this? I actually have this little Moondust star shape palette that I got at Ulta. This was a part of their holiday do. So I am gonna swatch this one here. I don't know, on the chin, that's, it's dicey. Okay, so this is the lighter shade in the Patrick Ta. And now let me do this shade here. Feels gorgeous and buttery. Yeah, that's a lot more like that lighter shade in the Patrick Ta. When I edit this, I'm going to notice all kinds of things I didn't notice before. I'm going to be like, wait, no, this looks like this. Okay, this leaves us with Natasha Denona, which I called the, which one of these is not like the other palette, because as I have said before, it is a 28 pan palette of about 5 different eyeshadows. But I do love this palette. It's gorgeous. So if you like the shades, then, you know, potentially you've got eyeshadow for years, right? Of these several shades. But look, I just like to knock it for fun. I mean, you know, I love Natasha. So I'm trying to figure out which of these to swatch. We're going to stick with the deeper ones because I'm running out of room here, guys. We're going to do this one. And then we're going to do this one. That I can already tell is going to be really light. And then we're going to do this one. That's what those look like there. Okay. So that is that first Natasha. I would put this more in the realm of the Victoria Beckham Beauty and the Pat McGrath. So then we have this one here. Lighter, but a bit more, I'm going to say, true brown. Got the final one, which feels drier. I've never put this much eyeshadow all over my face. It's so strange. You know, since we've got some open area on this here face, kind of like, why not go ahead and grab some of these lighter sort of shimmer glitters and run them up against these. So we've got this one. And then we're going to do this one. And then let's do this one. And then let's do this one here. And that's what those look like. These are going to be incredibly light. This one is definitely more of a topper. It's got a peachy sort of look to it. Next one, very neutral. Am I layering these directly on top of each other, guys? I really can't tell at this point. And finally, this one. Let's put this one up here because it's hard to see. There are all of our swatches. We are going to play with the new ones today on my eyes. Let me put the glasses back on so we know what we're talking about. This really looks good with the glasses. Or it's always looked this good, it's just now I can see myself. We are gonna need a little Corky, which is the lightest one. Oh, there's a little in the background doing his squeak fest. Okay, so we are going to do, excuse me, please do not interrupt me again. And by the way, your tail is still hanging out from underneath the bed. We can all see you. Okay, a little Corky. We're gonna do a little Corky. We are, I gotta use rooftop cocktails, guys. I have to. I kind of feel like maybe this one here. I think it was Abbott Kenny. Is it Abbott Kenny? Yeah, we're gonna do that one. Okay, we have picked our 3 contenders for today's eye look. I am gonna go and get all of this off my face, and I am gonna come back and we are gonna build an eye look with these. I'm also going to roll in some of my fun eyeliners, which is a part of my project pan, and we'll throw in some other newish products that I'm testing. So hold on, I will be right back. All right, I am all clean and I just want to show you, this is what it took to get this off my face. This was the first one with micellar water. And then I thought, I think I've got it all, but let me just do some more. Oh, look, wow. Yeah, there's some more. And then I went and splashed some water on my face, and I think I managed to get a little bit more off on this white towel. And I will tell you, I've got quite a bit of glitter left behind. So I have applied my Do Forever winged eye masks, even though I am not planning to do a wing. I'm just trying to protect myself from getting more fallout. I am going to grab some of this Abbott Kenny, and I'm going to put this in my outer corner. And then I'm gonna see if I am able to maybe work some of this through the crease as a transition shade. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. That will turn into a complete and utter disastrous mess. Okay, so now that I've got that, I am gonna grab a Rougher 14 and try to sort of make this a bit of a transition shade up here to get some structure for my eye. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and rub this out with the brush, kind of all over. And then I'll go back and intensify with the finger. Or try to. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Okay. So, I'm not really sure how much color I got there for a transition shade, but I gotta admit, I'm afraid to push it too much. There, I'm just gonna dab a little bit more on there. And I am immediately regretting that choice. Because yes, it is very shimmery. It doesn't really blend out to give you just sort of the base color the way that, say, the Victoria Beckham shadows do. We are going to take some rooftop cocktails, and that is going to be what we put in the center. And this does not have a lot of base to it, so I am definitely working to build this up. It almost feels like it has a lot of tack to it. It's, like I said, very wet feeling, but it almost feels a little bit tacky as I'm putting it on. And then finally, we have a little Quirky. Love this. Is Quirky like the name of a celestial body of some sort, or a planet, or I don't know, a star? Here's what's interesting about this. I mean, it's not really interesting. It's just like, should I have done this differently? This one has a lot more base to it than our rooftop cocktails. It's not necessarily the end of the world, but again, this is where you kind of get into order of application. I am gonna try to apply a little bit more here in the outer corner, and I am gonna use a Refer 21, which is a synthetic brush in the Refer line intended for more sort of shimmery shades. I don't know if this is gonna work for this. It doesn't look like it's picking up a lot, but let's try it. You can always go back to the finger application method. I feel the need for more rooftop cocktails. It's becoming like more cowbell. More rooftop cocktails. See if I can amp that up on the lash line right there. So this has turned out to be a much more sort of subdued look, as far as I can tell right now, than I had anticipated. So next up is removing our little eye mask here, and I don't see that I have added any additional fallout to my under eye, and yes, it is nicely hydrated. And now I need to pick an eyeliner. In my last video, I did the Victoria Beckham Beauty Satin Kajal in the bronze shade. And then I also have a Beauty Pie eyeliner that's in a bronzy shade. Or do we do purple? Because purple could really work here. The first one that you see is the Victoria Beckham Beauty, then Beauty Pie, Victoria Beckham Beauty, Beauty Pie. And I think I am going to go with the plummy shade from Victoria Beckham Beauty. And I am going to start off on the bottom lash line. I'm going to kind of smudge that out. I want this to take over. I'm going to add a little bit to the top too. I don't know how well this is going to play over the Super Shock shadow, but we're about to find out. Just because it's a really creamy product on top of another really creamy product. So I don't know how well it's going to dry down. I am not going to smudge the top of that because that will go to hell in a handbasket fast. I am going to do the same thing to this other eye and add mascara. I will be right back so that we can wrap this look up together with blush and lipstick balm. All right, guys, I am back to finish up this look, and if I didn't mention it before, everything that I have used to create this look will be listed in the description box below. And before we move on, I wanted to tell you I have some really exciting videos coming up. I will be reviewing a couple of items from the new Lisa Eldridge collection. I also ordered some really fun things from Violette FR, things that I would not consider a part of my usual style. And then I also ordered the latest Viseart palette. So if you are not subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing today and that you will give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And with that, let's finish up this look. I am going to use one of my new Say Baked blushes. This is the Super Suede formula. And I am going to use some of this shade Mia and testing out again their blush brush that they say is created specifically for this blush. I have not quite gotten the feel of this blush brush. I gotta admit, it's a shape that I'm not accustomed to for a blush brush. And so I'm always kind of like, can I get it in the right place? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? I don't know. I'm still sort of learning the ropes on this brush. I do think Mia is a lovely color. Pick up some more. Maybe I should be going straight down. I mean, I usually stipple when I apply blush. Maybe that's the way to go here. So blushing there. Even though at some point this morning I have applied the Clarins lip oil in cherry, the Coffee lip stain, and first, sorry, we are going to finish up today's look with the Say Glossy Bounce lip oil just to top this off. Some extra shine to match my eyes. I am really happy with the way that this look turned out. It is, I think it's subtle. Maybe it's not. I guess that's in the eye of the beholder, but it's certainly a lighter look and leans much more on the shimmers for impact. I think it's really beautiful. So I'm excited to keep playing with these. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.